August 8th, 1995 is the episode of ECW that we are discussing this week. Nate Maxon here along with my brother Aaron.
Hello.
And Mr. Chad Austin.
Did you say disgusting?
We will be disgusted by this episode of EC.
I wasn't.
What's up, guys?
Really quick before we start either before we start discovering that we weren't disgusted by this show or discovering that we were, earlier on, I think yesterday maybe, Chad had put in our group chat for the podcast that on the Busted Open show, you said they had a heated debate about who is the greatest of all time. And it got me thinking, first of all, who did they decide was the who did they decide was the best?
Well, I mean, it was generally 2 out of the 3 was and that was the order. It was Flair, Funk, Hogan.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Their argument was.
Oh, go ahead.
Their argument was who was one.
Because that's what I was going to say, or what got me thinking when you said that was that's a complicated question. Because are you first of all, a lot of wrestling is just personal, what you personally dig. Also, what are your qualifications? Like, what are your parameters? Are we talking, is the greatest of all time the person who drew the most money? Is the greatest of all time the person that had the best matches? You know, I mean,
see, that's kind of what they were talking about, because the debate came up kind of like out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It kind of came up out of nowhere, and that way they kind of when they started spitballing it, they really didn't have any ramifications or any qualifications or perimeters or what the best of the world or best of all time was. So then, as they were discussing it, then that's when LaGreca started noodling it and was talking about, like, you know, most greats. You know, I mean, because, you know, anytime you say Hogan, it's always going to be a fucking, you know, it's going to be like you know, there's going to be somebody's going to be like, oh my good luck, you know. But how can you discredit it? You know what I mean?
Right, and that's why
like in my world, you know, I can't, like, he's not my top 3, but, you know, but that's my fucking, you know, that's me. Because anywhere you got, I mean,
Sorry, I was gonna say if you go like monetary wise, it would probably be, like, who's drew the most money. It would be Steve, wouldn't it?
I don't know if Hogan. I don't know Steve Austin. I don't know if Hogan did cumulatively, because he had a longer run. Did Hogan had to have drawn more money than Austin, didn't he? Over his career.
I just know that merchandise wise and stuff, they said nobody touched him. Nobody touched Steve.
Yeah, yeah, but you also got to look at, like, when you say, like, who drew, it's kind of weird, because you got to look at the money, the value of money, you know, like in each period. Like, you know, I mean, you could say Steve Austin, because he may have did they're not $1 million houses, but he may have had, you know, $500,000 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And then Hogan, you know, back in them days, it may have taken him 2 weeks, you know, for, you know, but then you got merchandising, then you got, you know, licensing, then you got, you know, I mean, it's just a lot of things, but it's just funny because, like, in the whole entire conversation, the name Lawler wasn't brought up. That's what I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's,
you know,
that's one of the problems when I think about, like, when people talk about, like, who's the GOAT, is because wrestling it's subjective. You know, it's like music or whatever. It's all personal taste. Like, there's people that go around and be like, oh, Hulk Hogan fucking sucked. He was terrible. It's like, well, he didn't suck. You can't be fucking terrible and have the run that he had. You know what I mean? And he's not in my top 5 either. But I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, Hulk Hogan was trash. He sucked. You know, it's like,
yeah, he's only in my top. I mean, he's only in my top 3 if the argument is greatest box office. I mean, like,
Well, and even as far as that goes, how far do you go back? I mean, in his time's money, did Jim Londos draw more money than Austin or Hogan? I mean, how far back do you go? You know what I mean? We said all time, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
right.
just it's such a tough question to answer.
I mean, you got Bruno, you know, you got Pedro in his day.
Even that fucking loser Luthez.
Yeah, fuck Luthez. You got gay ass Jim Londos. I wouldn't want to be in the ring with. I'm afraid he's going to touch me inappropriately. The way he grappled. Fuck
Strangler. You go back to Strangler Lewis, you know?
Yeah, like Abraham Lincoln. For all we know, he could have been the best wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
Christ, he could have thrown that fucking ball-headed fucking lemonhead Greg Gagne or Vern Gagne in there.
Spudnik Monroe thought he was.
It was just tough. It was tough because even The Rock wasn't even in the top 3. You know, and I don't consider The Rock. The Rock's maybe he's in my top 11. You know,
but I would say you could give him the award for best crossover pro wrestler. But I mean, at this point, he's known more as being an actor than he is being a pro wrestler. Yeah. You know.
I mean,
Spudnik
Monroe thought he was over with the blacks. Look how big fucking Abraham Lincoln probably was.
All right. Spudnik Monroe, and then Rocky, then The Rock or whatever. Blacks win again.
But if you're going money, I'd say Steve. But if you're going off just overall, it'd probably be Flair. For me, it'd probably be Flair, Funk, and I mean, he didn't draw like huge money or anything, but just a guy that I just enjoy would be Kurt Hennig.
See, there you go. Kurt Hennig wouldn't be in my top 42, probably. But I mean, Bret Hart, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and how do you not have like Bret or Randy? You know, how do you not talk about those guys either? It's not like I said, it's a personal preference list on that, in my opinion.
And overall, over his entire, you brought him up, Chad, over his entire career, and just the Memphis territory, how much can you even compute without having like Jim Cornette's books or whatever? How much money Jerry Lawler drew over his career just in that territory?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, from 1974 till 1980, 86 was probably almost a weekly sellout at the safe building. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about easily a decade, you know, probably a decade or more of the same guy on top every single Monday night or whatever it is at the Coliseum. You know, it's the same guy. So it's like, yeah, I mean, you got to throw a guy like Jerry Lawler in the conversation. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least I think. I mean, that's just me. But you know, you could. There's guys that are probably in California that are going to scream Blassie, you know. Mm-hmm.
And Marty Funk is like Lemonhead.
Yeah, Lemonhead's the greatest of all time. Yeah, but I don't know what territory you're gonna throw them in there. And you look at Calgary, you know, fuck, you could throw Abby's name out there if you're going to talk about Japan. You know, you got and then if you're going to go to Japan, then you got to talk about Inoki or you know, mm-hmm. And then it's like, yeah.
Is there anything to say like with Roddy? You know, because it's like he was if he wouldn't have been around, he wouldn't have had. I don't think near the success that Hogan had. You know, it's like. I don't know. It's all subjective.
Yeah, it's why it just got on my nerves how they just started arguing about it, and they couldn't come up with the fucking, you know, they just couldn't come up with the criteria, and every one of them, all of them had Flair and Hogan. It was all they were like 1, 2, put them in any order you want. Then it was the third one. It was the third person was like, yeah, then who? And I just don't have Hogan as far as greatest of all time. He's probably in my top 10 if I thought about it. But then again, I'd bump him out for a fucking Abe Lincoln. About Abe Lincoln.
What a baby face that Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, Hogan wouldn't have been Hogan if it wouldn't have been like that spot Hogan was in. This is why I don't want to disparage him or whatever, but he was lucky enough to be in that spot. But if they wouldn't have been able to get him in the WWF, that could have been Slaughter, that could have been Snuka. It was just
Colonel De Beers. Yeah, it could have been anybody.
But he was just lucky enough to be in that Rocky movie and just strike at the right time.
And be working for Vern for peanuts. It really could have been Tony Atlas. I would have loved if Vince would have chose Tony Atlas to go national. And Tony Atlas was in the fucking cartoons. Saba Mamba. Why but Sheepa? Why but you be a bad guy but
Tony Atlas voiced by Bill Cosby.
Would have wound up being a totally different Gawker video.
Right. Dude, did you Tony Atlas was on Busted Open the other day, and before the interview was over, he started talking about like some book that he has or something where he was talking about his foot fetish and how he likes to have women to wear high heels and stuff and step on them and shit. And I'm thinking like, holy shit, because I was at a show with my ex, 15 whatever years ago or so, and Tony was on the show, and I was like, hey Tony, this is my girl, her name was Renee, whatever, and they got into a conversation, and all of a sudden I hear out of nowhere, what you mean you don't lick your man's toes? And I turned around, I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, Tony's like, she don't lick your toes? No. Why? What do you mean she don't lick your toes? I don't even want her to. Like,
could you imagine? Could you imagine reading Atlas's book and then going to the footnotes, and it's just like hangnail?
Yeah. I took
really big toe. Like it's just his notes about feet that he's encountered in his life.
Yeah. Totally. Like, there's certain things about these fucking superstars that I don't fucking need to know about. Tony Atlas and your toes. What you mean you don't lick his toes? I don't know, Tony. It just don't work that way.
Just to steal a Jerry Lawler line, it's the agony of defeat.
That's right. Bring it back to Jerry Lawler. Good bring back.
Big ass, flat feet.
Dude,
Man,
I've been on so many shows with Tony Atlas, dude. Like, I mean, just it's not even like, I would never have to walk up to him and be like, "Hey, Mr. Atlas," you know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? After you've been on the same show for 5 years, you see him 3 times a week or whatever it is, and all you had to keep hearing about was, "Did you see your feet?" No, dude. No, Tony. I didn't look at her feet. Or what'd you think about the Iron Sheik's boots, Tony?
Curly.
Oh yeah, man, Iron Sheik boots. Oh shit. Fucking Tony Atlas.
One of the greatest.
2023 Tony Atlas is over.
One of the funniest things ever, when Aaron and I were at a convention and Tony Atlas was there, and then just you're on the complete other side of the arena or of the building, and off in the distance you just hear, you know exactly what table it's going.
Yeah, pretty much. Fucking jabroni Atlas.
Well, like I said, the episode of ECW we're discussing here, August 8th, 1995. And we start off with footage from the Florida swing that is now over with. And
it'll never be over with.
Public Enemy in the ring with the fans, of course, filling up the ring. And it's a good thing to put on the beginning of your show. You know, just show the fans.
They're all dancing to Hot Supper because that's what they came out to, and they wouldn't let the one black guy in the ring. It's like he had to stand on the outside.
Didn't he start taking stuff? He started taking stuff, didn't he? Like
what we need here is Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I thought the black guy was the one that started like doing the turnbuckles and shit. I thought he was the ring crew.
He was just trying to dance, and they wouldn't let him in the ring.
They wouldn't let him in the ring. Poor black guy in Florida.
But this is the thing they'll show 8 million times of everybody in the ring dancing with the Public Enemy, and then the ring ends up collapsing.
That's the best. Because at that second there was people in the back shitting. Holy fuck, the ring just, and then there was people going, no, this is great. This is what you want. No, you don't. You don't want 60 people in the fucking ring and then the ring collapsing.
Anybody ever heard the word liability?
Lawsuits?
Yeah,
lawsuits today. Fuck, I would have sued.
Like, I don't know if they've shown more. I don't know if they showed Tommy hitting Raven with the chair or this fucking ring collapsing. I don't know which one they showed the most.
Probably Tommy with the chair, because Tommy was involved in the editing. Guys showed me and Raven. Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah, we do. Forgot.
Well, Joey intros the show here, and they're talks about how they're going to be showing you the footage from Orange County Fairgrounds in Middletown, New York.
This is ECW fans that are also carnival attendants,
which probably equals how you say sold show. Probably a sold show. Maybe a third of them people came there to see the show. The rest of them just happened to be there, like at Universal Studios. And as part of the tour, come over here and be on Worldwide.
Oh yeah,
that's probably how it works.
There's like little kids in the crowd and shit. It's like, all right, this isn't necessarily an ECW show.
No, and I have that in my notes too. There's like, in between the seats where people go to sit, the steps where you go to sit down or whatever. There's just people standing there, and they aren't there to see the show. They're peeking in, looking at this wrestling shit going on. They're not going to be sticking around. So yeah, it's definitely this isn't necessarily a hardcore audience. Let's put it.
Yeah, it's part of the event, right? It's just part of the event they were at. Yeah, you're at the Middletown, whatever it is, fucking carnival, and all of a sudden now you wound up at ECW TV. Here, come over here. We need you. That was the Steiners, right?
Yeah, they're in here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was I think that was the name, like, because if I remember correctly, when Paul was talking about it, like the Steiners were actually the name that was brought up as who the people wanted, and it's like you got the whole wrestling world at your disposal. You know what I mean? Hogan, Sting, whatever, Flair, whatever, Steiners. All right, well,
Middletown, New York was clamoring for the Steiner brothers.
They needed more Steiners.
Then they show us a bunch of footage from the event. And Aaron, I know you said you had some notes on each one of these little things. We could touch on them as you go through them.
I mean, it's just the clips. They show the entrances for the ECW Championship match, which is the Sandman defending against Cactus Jack. Sandman and Woman make their entrance, and then Cactus Jack makes his entrance, and it's a motorcycle entrance, but it's like the worst kind of motorcycle entrance a man can have in wrestling.
That's actually yes, that's what I actually have here. Cactus enters in the bitch seat.
Yeah, that is the bitch seat, Mick. Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, bang bang,
yeah, bang bang,
him, bang bang him,
and he's not even on like a badass motorcycle. He's on like the back of like an old dude bike that has like the luggage rack things on the back of it or whatever. It's like, what the?
Yeah, it was like one of them like traveling bicycles.
Yeah, like what the fuck, Mick? You didn't even sit on one of the cool bikes. You sat on like the 50-year-old guy bike.
He should have came out on a Schwinn. Like there's there's like 20 motorcycles in there. Goes Mick Foley rolling down a Schwinn with a basket on the front of it, with all his lumber in it. His brooms and his mop handles. All his daytime maintenance job equipment in the front of the basket.
So Mick made the big mistake of allowing somebody to put him on the back of a bike, which is always bad.
It wasn't a good look.
Was not. So unless you guys got anything on that, we'll move to our next clip, which is the most non-ECW match ever. It's Marty Jannetty versus Jim Neidhart. That happened.
Sold show.
Little known fact. This is actually a bag of blow on a pole match.
It was a bag of blow that Jim Neidhart probably fucking took the blow out, resold it, and put like fucking baking soda in it.
Oh, I misspoke. I am so sorry. It was actually a fanny pack full of blow on a pole.
A fanny pack full of blow, huh?
I was going to say we didn't see the finish, and if that was the contest, they probably decided on their own, let's just make it a draw and split the purse. Just split the fanny pack.
Oh, I mean, what do you think the finish was? I mean, honestly, what do you think the finish was?
I think Marty probably went over.
I bet it was a DQ of some sort. Yeah, there's no chance that either one of them were doing the job. There's no reason to. Neidhart would have been like, why? And then Jannetty would have been like, I don't know. And so,
yes, I was gonna say Neidhart would have been like, why? And Marty would have been like, huh?
Yeah, what? I'm here. I thought that was the job. I don't know. So yeah, I bet you it was some sort, but it was probably a DCOR.
Either they're at the beginning of the night. They were like, "Hey, Jannetty, you're going to be working Jim Neidhart tonight," and he was like, "Who?" And they're like, "No, Jim Neidhart. Who?"
Shut up.
Jim Neidhart played who?
Yeah, we get it. Did you get that joke, Archie? That was for you, Archie Mitchell.
The next clip they show is the Steiner brothers versus Vampire Warrior, and I believe he was teaming with Dudley, but all we see is Steiner versus Vampire Warrior in the ring. Then we get clips of this feud is still going of Big Coochie and Hack Myers. And really the only note I have from it is that there's like an annoying Dreadlock fan out in the crowd. That's
Dreadlock guy.
Dreadlock guy is annoying as fuck.
Dude, he was annoying as fuck for the whole 3 years that I was there. Him, Paul Mellows, fucking Buck Robley, his brother. Yeah, I could name 3/4 of the first row. That's Murderer's Row, man. All them guys.
But Dreadlock guy is the most annoying because he's constantly standing up, trying to like be part of the fucking show, and he's not even good at it at all.
And something that I wrote down about Hack Myers and Puccio was like Hack Myers has to be coming to these shows every single week going, Who did I fucking piss off? What did I do? Why do you have me working with this fucking roadblock?
Why do I have to keep fighting Big Coochie?
He showed up, man. I mean, I should have been there. I was supposed to have been there. 'Cause I bet you if I would have been there, it probably would have ended up being me and Hack. I bet if I would have went. Because me and Hack were, at this point, we were already kind of married together, whether it was a fake tag, where he would turn on me, or we would just end up getting 911 at the end anyway. So, because I was down there. I just wasn't in Florida where they were at. I decided to take other bookings. I wasn't, because I wasn't going down there. If Paul can't call me and tell me that I'm booked, that I know that I'm going to get paid. They drive 18 fucking hours, whatever, or more than that, more than 18 hours.
Well, we lost Chad there for a second, and so we will let him continue. All right, he's back.
I know. I don't know why he keeps doing it. I'm not touching anything. It just keeps dropping me out.
I don't know either.
Yeah, but I mean, if I wasn't going to be guaranteed a payday to go down there, when I'm going to miss, whatever, 2 weeks of bookings to work 5 days a week, to go down for, Florida for what was that 2 weeks they were down there for?
Yeah,
maybe 2 weeks, but how many shows was it? 6?
I think it was probably 6 or 8, because I know there's 2 that they filmed for TV, and then there were other ones that when I was looking in the torch, there were, I want to say between 6 and 8. Yeah. So right about there.
Yeah. It was like Dave.
I don't know why StreamYard is fucking with Chad during this week's episode, but it keeps, just so those of you know, it keeps kicking Chad out of our stream here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why.
It was like Davie, Florida.
He's used to it already.
Yeah. Just,
it's like a telegraph. He's telling us, I was there. Stop.
Yeah. Yeah,
Then
it was like Davie, Florida, and Ocala, Florida. Yeah, it was like them 2 towns. Like what were the big? It was like Davie, Ocala, and Tampa, right?
Yes, definitely Tampa and Ocala.
Well, Davie, Florida was where the ring broke.
Okay.
And yeah, it was Davie, Ocala, and Tampa, I think. So yeah, they were the major 3 towns. So they may have had a couple of spot shows on there. But
well, this shit we're going over isn't in Florida.
Isn't what?
The things that I'm running down didn't happen in Florida.
Where was it at?
It was that Orange County Fair in New York.
Oh, Middletown.
Yeah, the ring broke in Florida, and then they had to leave.
They had to leave?
Yeah, they're like, oh shit.
Quickly, we gotta leave. We have to get out of this jurisdiction. Yeah.
Somewhere in Florida, there's a broken down ring, and the same place that GCW.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
if I read it right, or
nobody ever cleaned it up. It's still there.
Yeah, that's why Game Changer runs there.
Yeah, the ring broke. They left. They were like, oh shit.
Oh, Johnny.
We killed a guy. We gotta go.
And we killed a black guy. The one guy we couldn't let in.
Yeah, this shit is at that Orange County Fair.
Oh, see, I didn't do New York either, because you know how much money it would have cost me just to get there. I mean, I would have saved money going to Florida than I would have going to New York. It would have cost me $100. I think it's $100, and then it's somewhere between $128 and $133 is what it would have cost me in tolls to get to go. That's why I never worked New York.
Is Middletown upstate?
Oh yeah, it's kind of like
in the middle.
Yeah, but not so much in the middle, like per se. It's kind of like it's like northwest, but it's like on the eastern side of New York. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like there's New York, then there's Manhattan, and then there's like whatever. But then it's closer to Canada. Put it that way.
Closer to Utica.
Like, Yeah, it's not as far as like as Utica or White Plains or whatever, but yeah, you're going in that direction. I mean, you guys should know you're in a fucking Ohio. You got your own little fucking, you how far is the next big town from you guys? I think about you guys when I watch like Restaurant Impossible and shit, and the guy goes to a fucking restaurant somewhere in Ohio, and he names a town or something. And I'm just like, I wonder if the fucking boys are anywhere near fucking Johnsonville or whatever the fuck town. Like, what is mom and pop,
Montpelier.
Yeah, like, because you guys got a lot of small towns, man, in Ohio, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's big as fuck, and there's not very many big cities in it.
No, it's not.
We got like the 3 C's and then Toledo, and that's
and
about
it. And Youngstown. Yeah, that's about it.
Youngstown's not even that big. Youngstown's small. I mean, it's not even. Yeah, it's
that's kind of like that's how New York is, because and all them little small little fucking towns are all proud as fuck. They're all proud. Yeah, we're fucking Ithaca or whatever the fuck, wherever the bubble boy lives, upstate New York.
Utica rules.
Yeah, Ohio it's the 3 C and then Toledo, and that's really all I can think of. Canton, that's a college town, but it's nothing real. There's no big metropolises, really.
Dayton's fairly large.
So Superman wasn't from Ohio?
Yeah, no. Superman didn't hail from Fairfield, Ohio, no.
No shit. No, I don't think he did either. There's no metropolises in Ohio.
And then the big cities that are in Ohio you don't ever even want to go to. You don't want to go to Cincinnati. It's like the one Cincinnati has a beautiful skyline, but you don't want to go to where the skyline is. You don't want to actually get off the highway in Cincinnati. I'm sorry to say, but
yeah, you see all the best parts of that on Live PD. Oh, that's Cincinnati, all right. He said Cincinnati has a beautiful skyline. It's almost like you're describing a woman. Man, I'm gonna name my daughter Cincinnati. She got a beautiful skyline. This is a chick I want to marry. Did you see her skyline? Damn.
Hack Myers does beat Puccio here again.
Yeah, he beats the coochie, and then we get clips of Too Cold Scorpio versus Mikey Whipwreck.
This is probably decent. Right.
Yeah. And then the main footage they show from that is that he does a like a moonsault looking deal into a leg drop. Like they emphasize that. Then we get a quick clip of Big Dick Dudley and Joey Styles saying a lot of people make fun of Big Dick's name, but they don't say it to his face.
All right. Yeah, I'm not exactly, in a neighborhood of. I would say, hey, Dick. What's up, Dick? Whatever, but I'm not saying, hey, Big Dick. There's not a whole lot of guys in the locker room named Dick anyway. Well, there is, but not in front of their faces. So yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't make that mistake. Plus he's a fucking jabroni anyway.
Yeah, he's dead. What's he gonna do?
All right, fucking. Him and the pit bulls.
One of them. Then we get a clip of the Gangsters promo on the Public Enemy, and then we get clips of the Gangsters versus the Public Enemy. And this is where I was saying, like, this is not a ECW crowd because Public Enemy and the Gangsters brawl into the crowd, and you see like this 7-year-old girl in like a little sundress outfit or whatever as these guys crawling all over the arena. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
If it wasn't so long ago, I would swear I would have been Izzy. my girl Izzy from Florida. But yeah, she wasn't even nowhere near being born then. But yeah, I would have been. That's Izzy. Everybody knows who Izzy is. You guys don't know her, but yeah, everybody knows who Izzy is. But yeah, there was like some random like little girl there.
She's just standing there watching these guys just beat the fuck out of each other in the
I think at one point she was holding her father's beer. Like her father's like, so here, can you hold this? Because he was cheering. I think he handed Dreamer something, some weapon or something. Like, here, little kid, hold this beer for me real quick.
She told her daddy, she was like, I want to ride a motorcycle like Cactus Jack.
Cactus Hack.
And then the final clip we get is Raven, Richards, and Beulah beating down, put upon Tommy until the pit bulls come out and help him. And all of this shit went down. All these clips that they showed you happened within 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
And it was all supposed to be like because of the start of a match or something? Or it was like they entered something and then all of a sudden it never happened. It just boiled into everything else. Right?
Yeah. Like all of this shit happened and they recapped everything that happened on this show up until this point in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And it's like, they can't do this much shit and make it this entertaining in 3 hours of Raw.
No. And don't fucking challenge him to do that. No, dude, I don't want to see that challenge issued. Because all of a sudden, I mean, I already saw Tozawa the other day on Raw. Normally, he's still running around the back chasing the 24/7 title, but he was on Raw the other night. And I'm just like, Tozawa, he still work here?
You still a worker here?
Yeah, dude, seriously. And you get a brief glimpse of Titus O'Neil, who I don't understand why he still dresses to wrestle at the shows. Why are you getting into your ring gear, Titus O'Neil? You're not going to the ring. Enough. How many guys do you think are back there that have been there for fucking years that still go there and get dressed with the hopes of being Dennis Stamp? What do you think it is? It's got to be probably 30 guys.
They're just Shelton Benjamin jumping on a little trampoline, hoping.
Yeah, but dude, I still wouldn't fuck with Shelton Benjamin.
If you shaved off from AEW and WWE, the amount of talent that those two promotions have that aren't regularly on TV, you could build possibly 2 other promotions out of that.
Yeah, you could probably
be one of the rosters now.
Yeah, you could start a company that's owned by a big power company and put it on a channel that nobody has, and you could probably call it Impact. Like a company that nobody sees.
And it would still be in business 20 years from now somehow.
Do you know how hard it is? I'm not even kidding. Do you know how hard it is for me to fucking watch Impact? I gotta plug stuff in, like to go find Impact. I gotta move this piece of furniture to plug this thing in, and I gotta find the remote control to hit this to go find this streaming service. Like, whoa, seriously, how hard is it to get on fucking TV? Jesus, I bet you I can make a phone call tomorrow and get a TV show on. It was Impact don't have any phones.
What are they on now? The Boating Network?
The Boating Network? They would thrive if they were on the Boating Network. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what is it. You tell me. I'm being serious.
I have no fucking idea what channel.
I think they're on Axis.
I think it's Fight.
Well, Fight's the app they're on, but the television channel they're on, I think they're on Axis.
I don't fucking have that. I don't have any of that shit.
You did. You just asked me a question and I answered it.
I know, but I'm in a major fucking city, like the 4th biggest city in the fucking At least the East Coast. You guys are somewhere in the fucking. You guys probably get it.
I haven't watched that show in so long. For all I know, it's like Guy Fieri's. Like on the Food Network, it's Diners, Dives, and TNA.
Yeah, I'm here at the TNA Impact Zone where I heard they had the best hot dogs.
Yeah, the catering is fantastic.
It's just hot dogs on that
Just
little
hot
fucking
dogs.
wheel.
And Hormel chili with no beans.
They can't get Guy Fieri though, so they have Axel Rotten doing like a version of him.
Jesus Christ, he just shit on Axel.
Yeah, he's gay. They got Ian Rotten doing a Guy Fieri gimmick.
You know, TNA was in town because somebody bought a crock pot at the local Walmart. Oh shit! There's wrestling in town.
It's Ian Rotten doing a Guy Fieri gimmick.
A hot dog challenge.
Yeah.
And you know how like the Green Arrow or whatever pulls the fucking arrows like out of his back, like this out of his whatever they call it. You know, his little thing where the arrows are in, and he pulls them out. Ian Rodden's got hot dogs back there. He's just pulling hot dogs out of his back. Like he goes to a hot dog challenge and he don't even use any of theirs.
Here comes the hot dog archer.
He's got a hot dog neck. We always used to call him hot dog neck. Like look at how fat his head is, and when he leans his head back, with all the fat on his neck, it looks like a pack of hot dogs. So we used to call him hot dog neck.
That's funny. That's what we used to call Nate's kid when he was little.
Nate's Kendall?
Yep.
No, Nate's boy
son,
when he was little.
When my son
you can tell.
When my son was born, he was born 10 pounds 10 ounces. He was fat as fuck, and his neck looked like a pack of fucking hot dogs.
So you had a hot dog neck too.
Yep. and now he's like 6 feet tall and skinny. I don't know what the fuck, but
no hot dogs.
No hot dogs. Now he's a toothpick.
Go figure. Fucking Ian Rotten and his hot dog necks. Ballpark. Ballpark Rotten.
He can't even sell one out, but that's what we're gonna call him.
That's your payday. Ian's neck. Did you guys ever know that?
You thought that Bar S was salty? Wait till you look at the back of Ian Rotten's neck.
That ain't no Nathan's. Oof.
Did you guys ever know, like, did you guys ever hear that about, like, in wrestling, like the paydays?
Yeah, like a Coke and a hot dog.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, so that's nothing that's like unheard of to you guys. I've literally experienced it before. That I've literally had that happen to me, and I just went, "What are you talking about? What?" But yeah, that was a real thing, man.
I bet it works on guys that stink and just wanted.
That's the reason why. That's how it came around. You couldn't pay the guys, so therefore you find the cheapest talent you could possibly get. Then it's guys that put the ring up, you know, the guys that were around or whatever, and then you just pay them in a hot dog. like that's just like that was nothing uncommon about that whatsoever. I think I worked a fucking show in Jersey. I want to say I was in New Jersey, and on a boardwalk, and I got paid with fucking popcorn, I think, and a hot dog. And I was like, I couldn't believe this. You know, I was just like, you're kidding me, because it was go to the concession stand to get your money. And I go to the concession stand, and I was like, yeah, still wearing my wrestling outfit. And the lady hands me a fucking, you know, a foot-long Nathan's. What's this? Thank you. She shook my hand. I was like, what? I looked at, because I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% confident that Axel was there with me on this one, because I'm sure he he probably didn't get paid in hot dogs. And if he did, it was probably more than 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, you're a big boy. We're gonna give you 6.
Yeah, he's all bleeding and shit, and he goes to get paid. The lady, she put extra relish on it, chili sauce for him. Here you go, Mr. Rotten. By the way, I saw your match, Mr. Rotten.
She before he wrestles, she goes over and hands him a thing of popcorn. Here's your advance, Mr. Rotten.
No, fuck that. Because if you don't ask for it, no, they don't give you. No promoter is going to give you anything in advance. Unless you're Jim Duggan, Tito Santana, or somebody like that. You don't want to ask for the advance because you would get the fucking hot dog. Then you wouldn't get one at the end of the show because they would have already given them all away. You got one hot dog sitting there for you after the show is over. I got to walk behind Carluzzo as I'm asking for my money, and he's walking to the concession stand. Julie, take care of this guy for me, can you? Yes, sir, Mr. Carluzzo. Here you go.
We got him on we got him on a 2-wiener guarantee.
Yeah, pretty much, man. That shit was not uncommon.
The 2-wiener guarantee. Jim Barnett started that.
I was gonna say Tammy Sitch, but all right, Jim Barnett.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about any sexual harassment in that fucking office. Tammy Sitch and Jim Barnett. Boy.
Who's the goat in taking dick? Jim Barnett or Tammy Sitch?
The only sexual harassment that's going to go on during that fucking office stay is who is fucking. They're fighting over who's going to fuck who first. Like Brett and Tammy are fighting over. I mean, Brett, who they were fighting over. My boy. No, he's my boy.
I won't take your slappy seconds.
all of a sudden, Jim Barnett's
listen here, you harlot.
I won't take them slappy seconds.
All of a sudden, Jim Barnett's Charlie from Starkville. Who I just found out he was white. Did you know that?
Yes. Yes.
No, it ruined my whole entire. It ruined my whole entire thought of Charlie from Starkville, Mississippi. I thought he was looked like Will Hobbs. That's what I thought he looked like. And then when I saw a picture of him, I'm like, he's white. How could Charlie from Starkville, Mississippi, be white?
I wanted him to look like Ray Candy.
Who?
Ray Candy.
Oh, exactly. That's what I said. Kareem Muhammad, Ray Candy, Kamala before he was Kamala. Yeah, and when I saw a picture of him, he's a regular white guy. Like that ruins the whole entire illusion.
Basic bitch. Charlie from Starksville is a basic bitch.
Yeah, totally, dude. He's a nobody now. I don't even follow him anymore on Twitter. I used to follow him until I found out he was white. Love you. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Fuck you, bye.
Thank you, fuck you, bye.
Well, now we get a full match actually on this show. It's
we're still talking about the show?
Yeah, Raven and Stevie Richards defending the tag team titles against the Pitbulls. I don't have a lot of notes on the match. I have notes on the finish.
The brawl, right?
Yeah, I have notes on the finish, but not on the match. Which the match, Beulah sprays Pitbull 2 with hairspray, so Richards gets the pinfall on him, and then it's same old story, same old song and dance. I'm not saying I'm not gonna lay judgment whether it's bad or whether it's good. Other than this, okay, so Dreamer and Luna come out. We have the fight that we've had for the past few weeks between these 6 or 7 people. What I'm going to say is this, all right? The baby faces catch Beulah as the heels dip. Tommy does the pile driver on Beulah. This is a great spot for every single show if you want to get the crowd to pop. But my issue is Is it bad that they keep putting it on TV over and over and over again? I'm not saying in the arena at the show you don't do it, but are you overkilling this by actually showing it on TV? We've already seen her get pile drived like 5 times on television.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I totally get it, but it's always a big spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's always over.
And that's why I was going to ask you guys what you thought, because I agree with you. It's always over. And again, I'm saying for the crowd in the arena, do it. But is it overkill to show it on TV every week? You know what I mean? And I know you said you did, but I wanted to know what you guys thought. So
my thing is, if Tommy's supposed to be the good guy, he keeps beating this woman every week.
Why is he on live PD?
Yeah.
Tommy's beating his broad up every single week, and the cops they're just sitting there at ringside watching.
Tommy's a woman beater, but he's supposed to be our face.
He's our top baby face.
Yeah, woman beater.
Yeah, look at him go. Like, I would never hit Jess. I would just book Tommy Dreamer for a weekend.
Yeah.
Eventually, he'd be in the kitchen, hitting there with a frying pan. Yeah, I'll be sitting there watching TV, having a beer, and hear clunk.
You hear Allison. You hear Allison Chains start playing out of a boombox.
Yeah, and I just out of nowhere. Oh, he's hardcore. He's hardcore. All right. My wife comes back with tape on her forehead. What happened to you, Tommy Dreamer?
Notorious
you booked
woman.
Tommy Dreamer for a weekend, and I didn't take one bump. My wife got her ass kicked. Maybe he's into that shit.
Like Raven might be a piece of shit, but at least he's not pile driving his women.
No. Because at least Raven's smart enough to have fucking Richards do it. You know, or beat some broad up. I'll get this fucking idiot to do it. I'm not going to jail over this. I'm gonna get Richards to do it. Fuck Beulah though, man. What can you say about her, dude? What a piece of ass. But I consider her like in the same conversation with woman. Like she's not that fucking good looking up close. She looks great on TV, right? I mean, you think she looks good on TV, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, but she's not she's not that hot, like up close. Like same with woman.
How do I want to explain it? And I don't want to sound like I'm being a asshole. It's like you get a chick like Tori Wilson on TV, and you're like, God damn, look at her. But then you get a chick like Beulah on TV, and it's like, oh, she looks good, and I could probably land that, you know, with the right.
Yeah, Tori
right
Wilson.
time.
Tori Wilson's not even good looking up close. I was completely blown away when I met Tori Wilson before, and I got up close, and I was just like, "Damn, dude! Like them lights." I guess I don't know. Like I didn't want to say it to her like in person. Fuck, you know, like God damn that lighting, that makeup.
You're like, oh man, I thought you were hot.
Okay, I'm just I just thought of her because I've never seen her up close or whatever. I was just trying to use something as an example, you know.
Yeah, you know who's hot, like who looks as good in person as she does on TV is Camille.
Well, you see, like, so it's like a Camille. Like, if she came in the bar, it's like I'd never stand a chance. But if like a Beulah or a woman's showed up, yeah, I could.
You guys may or may not disagree with me, but to go with that whole thing, a lady that I've met that I think is as hot in person as she is on TV is Francine. You may disagree with me, but I think she's a good looking woman.
Yeah, I kind of don't have that opinion only because I know her.
Yeah, all right, yeah. I mean, the personality makes a difference, obviously, but
yeah, it's like I seen her go through, you know, the whole run when she was Miss Montgomeryville, you know, and then all of a sudden, where did these tits come from? You didn't hit puberty in your fucking mid to late 20s, Francine. You know what I mean? Yeah, it didn't happen. I just saw her not too long ago.
Yeah, she popped when I met her, and I told her that I knew you.
She popped what? The left one or the right one?
I told her we did this show together, and she's like, "Oh, I just saw Chad at in Baltimore at Seafood or whatever."
Jimmy's famous.
Yeah, she's like, he came in there with like 2 beers and was like, "Hey."
Dude, I sure did. That's not a fucking joke because I wasn't spending $7.50 for a fucking beer, so I just stuffed my pockets. But that's anywhere I go. I ain't taking beer. I ain't buying beer anywhere, dude. That's not my gimmick. Put it that way. I'll go to even Sweet Jess bought me a gimmick to where I go to a beer. It looks like a fucking thing you put arrows in, like to go hunting, and it holds like 8 beers or whatever. Like I got a contraption for anywhere I'm going. Anywhere I'm going, I have some sort of thing that I can put the amount of beers in and how long I'm going to stay.
Yeah, anytime I've ever gone to Las Vegas, usually I drink my beer out of a can, but whenever I've gone to Las Vegas, I have to drink it out of a bottle because I take it up to my hotel room. I buy it obviously at a carryout, take it up to my hotel room, and then sneak it into the casino. But you have to have it in a bottle because in the casino they don't sell beer in a can.
See, you just got to know, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I do my homework before I sneak beers in. We go to this thing every year. It's a food truck like festival or whatever. And like, dude, there's beer vendors all over the place. Fuck all that shit. I got beers. I wear like cargo pants. I got beer. I got like 2 beers in the left knee pocket, 2 beers in the right knee pocket, 2 beers in the regular pocket in each of them, and then whatever I can carry in. Fuck that. I ain't paying fucking full price. I ain't paying shit for beers. I only pay for beers at Jimmy's.
As long as you know the system, you're good.
You got to know the system, and it all comes from being in the business. Literally, I would have never thought about any of this if it wouldn't came from being a wrestler and not getting paid, and and not knowing how to work like Waffle House. Fuck, you go into a Waffle House at midnight with a couple of 8x10s. You get fucking a couple of eggs, bacon, and sausage for nothing. You just give them an autograph. It ain't nothing finer than being in your diner. There you go.
Well, up next on this show, we got Too Cold Scorpio. Okay. A direct quote from the promo. You know what I'm saying? Hey. He also says during this promo, in the same sentence, he says, I'm going to kick ass and be whooping booty. So it's Too Cold Scorpio.
Too cold. Cuts promos that last like 3 minutes, and he only says 2 things in the 3 minutes, but he just says it with different verbiage.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, like you got to know what he's saying.
He found 3 different ways to say, I'm going to drop the bomb on you. Yeah. And just all this. It's like, shut the fuck up, Too Cold.
He's going to drop the bomb on you. You know what I'm saying?
And then to kick it off the best, and one of the most hard, it's the hardcore ECW, and he even talks about it being extreme, and he wants championships, and he's going to win. And he says, extreme, we're extreme, we're extreme. And then he says, as far as the Steiner goes, I don't give a hoot.
They're not extreme.
He's extreme, and he don't give a hoot.
He don't give a Robert Gibson.
So yeah, Too Cold goes a mile to tell you what he could tell you in fucking 12 feet.
Yeah, it's that old saying about going around your fucking elbow, whatever, to touch your wrist. Whatever he did, Scorpio says a whole lot of stuff, but don't say fucking anything. But you know what he's saying though. As long as you know what he's saying.
Yeah, you know what he's saying. He don't give a hoot.
You know what it means.
Whoop, hey, there it is. Drop the
real
bomb.
quick, before we go any further, I don't want to forget. I just want to thank the guys at work that found my beer huggy the other day. That went missing. It got accidentally tossed into the trash, and I called out a code Adam at work. And I had my girl Sahara get on the microphone and ask maintenance to check all the receptacles for a beer huggy. She said, "What's it called?" I said, "A beer huggy." And one of the trash men came around and said, "Hey, that thing you were looking for?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "It's sitting back there. I put it on that thing that cleans the floors, that big machine that cleans the floors. I set it back there for you." And I was like, "No shit." Because I was distraught at work. I couldn't do anything. All I was doing was walking around, like running around, going to the break room, checking my lunchbox, going back up front, looking at the trash cans, and people were like, "Chad, can you?" "No, I can't. Give me a minute." And I had everybody on it. I had my wife. When I told her about it, she says, "Oh Lord." And then I texted her a picture when I found it. But thanks to the maintenance crew for finding my beer huggy the other day. But anyway,
the next match on the show, once again, we get a match. And my note, this is where my note about this being at this nondescript county fair show was. These people got a match, and it was a really fucking good match between Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero, and they didn't even realize it.
They didn't give a fuck.
Half of these people didn't even fucking care that they were watching Dean Malenko wrestle Eddie Guerrero.
You're watching magic, you fucking slack-jawed fucking hillbillies.
I wonder where fucking that match was placed. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Was it probably third, you think? I'm guessing. I mean, if I had to guess, it was probably it was definitely in the first quarter of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would have had to have been, because you're just watching people going, "Yeah, this is great." When is 911 going to come out?
It's like, you're watching, like Aaron said, you're watching magic. Quit worrying about your fucking funnel cake.
Watching your kid on the goddamn fucking like spinny thing that I would never fucking let anybody I know that I give a fuck on, because they take that shit down in a day and put it up somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
It expands with a crank.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and the guy that's fucking working it, he's wearing the same jeans for 2 weeks. You know, he's all disheveled, probably wearing overalls.
Like my ex-girlfriend, one of my exes, she put her fucking kid on a goddamn little kid roller coaster. I'm like, we might not get her back. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Like, I wouldn't put if it was my child, I wouldn't put him on that.
Oh no, yeah, my kids used to get pissed at me when they were little because there were certain rides. I'm like, no, I am not letting you on that. Daddy, I want to go on it. Yeah, you're not getting on a death trap on my watch. You're my kid. It's not happening.
It's pretty sad when the first thing you do when you determine if your kid can ride the ride is you look at the guy that's operating it.
Yeah, that, and you look at you look around and see fucking rickety bolts like moving.
There's a whole box full of extra pieces. There's just some ratchet laying around.
Like, I'm not letting you on that. The fucking Canadian Wolfman's operating it.
The shit.
Like, you can get in the bumper cars, you can get on the merry-go-round or whatever, but yeah, you're not getting on Serpentor.
If it leaves the ground, you're not getting.
No. You're not getting on that. You gotta walk by and you just say, "Hey, what's up, Dudley?" It is the Canadian Wolfman. Any guy who has face tattoos, he's running it. Nah, he's not getting on that.
Is that Joel Hartgood? You're not getting a fucking ride.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even do that. I don't even get on anything. I don't go. Even when we go to our big fucking place down the beach, I ain't getting it. That shit's been there 100 years. Eventually, the Ferris wheel's gonna fall off the fucking thing.
I'm the same way, and you know what? My middle name is Eventually. I'm not getting on that fucking thing.
Yeah, No chance. At any given Sunday, you can see that big Ferris wheel rolling down the boardwalk.
I ain't winding up in the fucking paper.
The tilt-a-whirl, yeah, of course. Yeah, okay. Tilt-a-whirl. Nope.
If I get on it, it will become the tilt-a-whirl of terror. So no,
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
I'm not
Fuck
winding.
no.
I'm not winding up in the paper tomorrow. Neither one of you.
Yeah.
Neither one of you gonna wind up on that shit. It's fucking dangerous.
I'm not even doing the bumper cars. I'm afraid of a fucking electrocution. You see them little metal things at the top of them that are sparking and shit? Who the fuck got these? Is that shit grounded? Like, I get in the L13 and I start zipping around, and all of a sudden I go to hit the gas and I fucking start shaking around like I'm fucking having a seizure or something.
Like that fucking guy that didn't get the sponge put on his head and fucking pile.
Damn. Yeah, like I don't want to be that guy, dude.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna wind up jerky. I don't want to be a Slim Jim after I get on this bumper car.
Looking like Charlie from Starkville.
All right, to quickly
We're not even
wrap up,
talking about the fucking
to
show.
quickly wrap up the ECW show.
This is why you can't beat us, Ryback.
Yeah, how you feeling about being 118, buddy? Go fuck yourself.
Eddie Guerrero beats Dean in a great match. Joey Styles comes on, lets us know that next week it's going to be Eddie Guerrero and Dean, or no, not next week on the show, but he talks about how they're upcoming. They're going to have a 2 out of 3 falls match. He discusses Todd Gordon being suspended. And then we get
Todd Gordon being suspended.
and we get a promo from the Steiners and Taz. With Taz, of course, now the gimmick is he's training with the Steiners. He's not going to need his neck brace.
Brother.
Did you notice at the end of the promo though, Rick made him laugh?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I gotta go back and watch that. No, I must have turned my head or something.
Yeah, he did like his little bark thing or whatever. It fucking popped Taz.
And that's fucking hard. Dude,
Yeah,
that's hard as
Yeah,
shit.
I actually have on my notes here. Very rarely have I seen Taz smile, and he was definitely smiling.
Yeah, and
brother.
like I said, right at the end of it, they like cut it. They cut the promo out because Taz like covered his face because he was laughing at Rick.
Yeah, dude, that I don't know. For somebody as fucking as harmless as Taz was, you know, he seemed like a killer, but yeah, he never smiled. But yeah, I guess you said you saw him break, so that's funny because it probably was the 14th take or so of that promo, and then Taz is probably just going, "This motherfucker can't just say it." You know what I mean? Like he's Taz is like, "Come on, dude." All Taz is gonna say is like, "That's right, brother." And then you got Scott trying to do math. Unbelievable.
So overall, what did you guys think of this episode of ECW?
I gave it a B+. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was solid. It was a solid show. I think our assessment of it was better than the show. But yeah, I mean, I would say B-. I'd go with a B-, and I very rarely give anything above a C. Anyway, but yeah, it was fun. It was it looked different, you know. It had like a little bit of everything. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
I also gave it a B, just a straight B. But I think the most effective thing was, Aaron, you said 10 plus minutes, you know, between 10 and 11 minutes of footage from all the shit that went down during the show. So what they did essentially is they showed us what you can see if you come and watch ECW, and then they showed us two title matches, both of which were good. So essentially what this show did, if I was a viewer sitting at home on my, as Bobby Heenan would say, on my rented sofa in 1995, watching this show, I would go, "Wow, that's what an ECW show is. I think I'd like to go watch one." You know,
that's what they all were. That's what television it was meant to be. You know, it's an advertisement to get you to come to see the thing. We're going to cram as much shit as we can in that 40 some minutes, whatever you get to watch it. It's an advertisement. And it was like, yeah. How many times have we watched ECW and we're like, watched it at the end of it was like, and I was even there, but if I saw it on TV, I was like, dude, that's where I want to go. I want to go see this shit. You know, I want to go see Mike Awesome jump over the rope and break JT Smith's back. Like, you know, like that shit. Like, yeah, that's what that whole entire thing was, just an infomercial.
They showed you the good clips of the stuff that maybe wasn't that great during it. So it's like highlight the positives, low light the negatives, and then we're going to show you a hardcore match with Raven and Stevie versus the Pitbulls. And then you can also see good wrestling with Eddie and Dean. And
right.
This was a really good show, in my opinion.
They had to put on good shows in Florida. It was like them proving a point that they can draw outside of Pennsylvania, Philly, and they had a fan base. You know, they went to them. You know what I'm saying? They went like they were at ECW was huge. Like that's where the Sunshine Network is from. It's from Florida, so that was like a big deal for Paul to run Florida. Same thing with New York, upstate New York. It was the biggest. What did Paul say? Whatever the cable company was at the time before Comcast, like, but it was the biggest show on that cable platform, and like Buffalo, you know, Ithaca, you know, like that area. So yeah, Paul's got to go there. That's why they didn't go to Lima, Ohio, or wherever you guys are from.
Close enough. Well, we're going to wrap the show up for the week. Chad, any parting words for our listeners this week before we sign off?
Nah, but not really. But I do think that we're going to start getting into some really good stuff. I kind of cheated a little bit, and I kind of looked ahead. I didn't really watch the shows, but I kind of looked ahead. I think we're going to see some pretty decent stuff in the next coming weeks.
Austin is looming.
Me?
Yeah,
I ain't done yet. I'm not
Austin.
done yet.
Sorry, I don't mean to shit on you, but I was talking about Steve Austin.
Yeah, I'm still there too. As long as 911's alive, I got a job.
You got a gig. Aaron?
The only thing I'd say is, like Chad said, there's good stuff coming like ahead. I tried to see if WrestlePalooza 95 was on the network, and it's not.
It is not. I also looked.
Why not?
I don't know. The only WrestlePalooza they have on Peacock is 98.
Why? What about 90? Was 95 wasn't the crucifixion, was it?
No.
What could have been on that show that wasn't that they wouldn't have had it?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's obviously, if they bought the library, they've obviously got it somewhere. But they don't have 95, 96, or 97. They pick it up.
Feinstein probably sold his originals. You know what I mean? Like I have them. I'm sure I have them. Why don't they just call me? Because I don't think there's an ECW show that I don't have. I even still got some of the shows still in sealed VHS tapes, like the packages that are unopened. I got a whole bunch of them, so I probably got it. How come I'm not on that fucking A&E most treasured show or whatever? Come look at the fucking garbage I got. You know anybody else that's got a Steve Austin bowling ball?
Did you see? By the way, did you see that they bought a bunch of Paphos stuff from the IWA stuff?
Oh, ICW.
Yeah. Apparently WWE bought like a few years worth of that off of somebody.
Well, all I saw was the reels. You talking about that? Like the movie reels, like that were in that box?
No, apparently they got actual footage from the Paphos promotion that they now.
No, that's what I mean. But was it the actual? Well, they were on the reels, like the.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. See, I didn't see the show. I just read an article about it, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, there was a box, and they briefly said it that he got a whole bunch of the ICW stuff, and they really showed it fast. And it was a box that had about 20 of them. They were banded in the metal containers with their reels. And I was like, dude, they were still doing 8mm. I figured that was the house shows. I figured they were probably the house shows because the stuff that I have that's off the masters, I had the masters. They were the bicycle tapes, the actual VHS tapes that they made copies of and shipped around to all the TV studios. So I got about, I don't know, maybe 15 of them. And I got a few of the reels of them. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, dude, like ICW is like a guilty pleasure of mine that if I'm ever fucking in a bad mood, I put that shit on, and it's so fucking bad.
No streamers, no confetti.
And at the very beginning when they're playing like the intro with the Midnight Express music, they keep showing like that big box that says like "Beware" or whatever. It's spray painted like on it, and that was like one of the worst. Like, anytime you see a box, in wrestling or whatever, or a cake, it's not going to end well for somebody. But when you saw that big box that said like "Beware," you just knew it wasn't good for the company.
For any of you that don't know, ICW was actually the first ECW because it should have been called Eccentric Championship Wrestling.
Dude, yeah. It was fucking. It was so bad, dude. But it was great though. I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't get it until in where I lived. I had to go to like my mom's house in Knoxville or whatever to see it, and I was just like, "Wow, look how bad this is."
Oh, when I discovered it, because obviously, okay, so I'm born in '78 in Ohio. I'm born in 1978. I'm born in 1978 in Ohio. So my exposure to Randy Savage, to be perfectly honest with everybody, up until the age of the internet, was the WWF/WCW Randy Savage, and then in the year 2003 or whatever on YouTube, discovering ICW Randy Savage, it's like, this is fucking gold. This is gold.
Like it's gold for all the wrong reasons.
Most people, when Vince would get them, he'd be like, we're going to take your character and we're going to turn it up. We're going to turn it up by 10. When he got Randy, he was like, we're going to take your character and we got to turn it down about 6. Like you gotta cut it out a little bit.
Yeah, you got to pipe it down minimum wage over there.
Yeah, it's like you can't be stealing meat to try to get in the fucking paper.
Right? No talking about cutting your head off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you, man.
Yeah, Ronnie Garvin. I'm gonna cut your head off. I'm gonna kill you, man.
Yeah. Nah, we're not doing
that. Hey, can I bring my dad? It's like, your dad's fucking insane. No.
Dude, Dad's creepy insane. Like he looks like something you would see on a video on rotten.com or something. Yeah, whatever his name is, Angelo Poffo. Like, yeah, that guy. What was his name? The great
he was
Cappuccino. What was his name?
Didn't they call him the miser?
The miser. Oh, he was the miser. That's right.
Because he was
but that was a rib. That was a rib.
Yeah, his kids called him the miser because he was cheap.
Yeah, that was a rib. But wasn't he the great Mephisto too, or something?
Something like that. And he was Mr. 1157 because he did like 11 157 fucking sit-ups or some shit.
He was a Mr. 1150. He was a Mr. Wrestling 1157.
March 6th.
Like he had like 11. He had like 11.
Mr. Wrestling 1157 Mark 6.
You got Tim Woods, you got Johnny Walker, and then you got all of a sudden it goes from Mr. Wrestling 1 and Mr. Wrestling 2 to Mr. Wrestling 1157.
Well, he claimed to have done like a 1157 sit-ups, and the fucking Poffo family's fucking crazy.
Then you got Lanny. I was watching the thing where it just said I forgot that he had just died, and I was like, yeah, you got this fucking fool that's still alive, and then I saw he's died. Like, yeah, there's definitely a cloud of something going on with that fucking family, dude.
Yeah, he was
whatever. Lexington, Tennessee or Kentucky is fucked up.
That's a wrap for this week's edition of Reliving the Extreme, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And just a side note as we go off the air, I want to remind you all we are now on Patreon. That's right, patreon.com/reliving the extreme. For as little as $5, you can get in the door unedited episodes of the show. Normally, if a show's 55 minutes to an hour long, we probably actually recorded for 90 minutes, so you can hear a whole lot more bonus content. We're going to have bonus editions of the show coming up as well, talking about things that maybe aren't even ECW for you wrestling fans, talking about old school wrestling, etc., and a lot more laughs. There's also a tier where you can get in and you could periodically be a co-host of the show. So if you're so inclined, we would appreciate you checking us out, www.patreon.com/reliving the extreme, to get more bonus content. That being said, I'm going to sign off. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Have a great week.